Siberia, a land sculpted by relentless cold, where winter dominates the calendar and the landscape is shaped by the ceaseless interplay of ice and wind. Here, silence is profound, broken only by the faint sigh of the wind as it sweeps across the ancient permafrost, carrying with it the secrets of a world long vanished. At first glance, this realm appears lifeless, an endless expanse of white where the sun barely crests the horizon and the air itself seems frozen in time. Yet, beneath this icy crust, the permafrost acts as a natural vault, preserving the remains of a vibrant ecosystem that flourished during the Pleistocene. Locked within these frozen layers are the relics of a lost epoch, when Siberia was a sprawling steppe, blanketed by resilient grasses and dotted with hardy shrubs. This was a land of giants, where megafauna roamed in vast herds, and apex predators stalked the shadows, shaping the destiny of every creature that called this place home. Paleontologists, guided by the clues left in bone and tooth, have uncovered the remains of predators whose dominance was absolute. The cave lion, Panthera spelaea, the scimitar-toothed homotherium, and the formidable steppe wolf, Canis lupus spelaeus, each played a pivotal role in the ancient Siberian biosphere. The cave lion, the largest feline to ever inhabit these lands, was a master of stealth and power. Its robust frame, reinforced by dense musculature and thick fur, allowed it to endure the harshest winters. Fossil evidence suggests these lions hunted in coordinated groups, employing sophisticated strategies to ambush prey under the cover of perpetual twilight. Their social dynamics were intricate, with prides working in unison to isolate the vulnerable. The cave lion's retractable claws and elongated canines were perfectly adapted for gripping and subduing massive prey, while their deep, resonant roars echoed across the steppe, signalling both dominance and unity. Sharing this frozen domain was Homotherium, the scimitar-toothed cat. Unlike its saber-toothed kin, Homotherium's build was optimized for endurance and pursuit. Its elongated, serrated canines were not just weapons, but tools of precision, capable of slicing through thick hides with minimal resistance. Homotherium's lightweight skeleton and long limbs enabled it to chase down swift prey across open terrain. Its keen eyesight and acute sense of smell made it a relentless hunter, often targeting the weak or isolated members of migrating herds. The efficiency of its predation left a lasting mark on the evolutionary trajectory of its prey. The steppe wolf, larger and more robust than its modern descendants, was the undisputed apex predator of the Siberian plains. Its dense fur insulated it against sub-zero temperatures, while its powerful jaws and muscular build allowed it to tackle prey many times its own size. Steppe wolves hunted in tightly coordinated packs, employing complex strategies to outmaneuver and exhaust their quarry. Their social structure was reinforced by a strict hierarchy, with each member playing a specific role in the hunt and subsequent feeding, ensuring the survival of the pack through the relentless Siberian winters. Among the smaller, yet no less formidable predators was the giant wolverine. Gulo was a solitary force of nature, its compact body packed with muscle and its jaws capable of crushing bone. The wolverine's acute olfactory senses allowed it to detect carrion buried deep beneath the snow, and its tenacity often saw it driving off much larger competitors from a kill. These predators were integral to the ancient Siberian ecosystem, their presence shaping the very fabric of life. Through predation, they regulated herbivore populations, influenced migration patterns, and maintained the delicate balance between species. The interplay between predator and prey drove evolutionary innovation, fostering resilience and adaptation in a world of perpetual change. During the fleeting warmth of Siberian summers, the land transformed. Rivers thawed and meandered through the valleys, nourishing a burst of plant life. Herds gathered at the water's edge, and predators emerged from the shadows, their movements dictated by the rhythms of abundance and scarcity. Yet, as the Pleistocene drew to a close, the climate shifted with dramatic suddenness. Glaciers advanced, temperatures plummeted, and the once thriving grasslands gave way to tundra. Many of these giants could not adapt to the new reality, their remains sealed in the permafrost, a silent chronicle of extinction and survival. Today, the wild heart of Siberia still echoes with the legacy of these ancient predators. Their bones, preserved in ice and earth, offer a window into a world of mystery and power, a world where survival was a daily battle, and every shadow concealed a story millions of years in the making. The spirit of these frozen giants endures, a testament to the resilience and complexity of life on the edge of the world. While the colossal beasts of prehistory and the present day ignite our fascination, it is the invisible ancient spark of life in Siberia that truly redefines our understanding of survival. Here, beneath the relentless grip of permafrost, life has persisted in forms both astonishing and nearly imperceptible. Deep within the frozen soils of Siberia, a hidden biosphere thrives, composed of microorganisms, mosses and lichens that have adapted to the harshest conditions on Earth. These organisms, some of which have remained dormant for tens of thousands of years, represent the ultimate testament to life's resilience. In a landmark scientific breakthrough, researchers extracted ancient ice cores and permafrost samples, revealing viable microorganisms and even multicellular animals, such as the bedelloid rotifer, preserved since the Pleistocene epoch, when mammoths and woolly rhinoceroses roamed the tundra. The bedelloid rotifer, a microscopic animal, survived in a cryptobiotic state, its metabolism suspended, encased in ice, for over 24 millennia. This remarkable feat is not merely a biological curiosity, but a window into the evolutionary strategies that have enabled life to endure the planet's most extreme environments. When carefully thawed in laboratory conditions, the rotifer reanimated, its cilia stirring, its body unfurling, and soon it began to reproduce. This revival, after an epoch of stasis, demonstrates the extraordinary capacity of life to pause and resume across geological timescales. This phenomenon challenges our very definition of life and death, revealing a spectrum of existence where biological activity can be suspended indefinitely, awaiting the return of favourable conditions. What evolutionary adaptations allow such endurance in the face of perpetual cold and darkness? Bedelloid rotifers are extremophiles, organisms that have evolved to survive in environments of extreme cold, desiccation and radiation. Their cellular machinery is uniquely equipped to withstand conditions that would destroy most forms of life. The key to their survival is cryptobiosis, a state in which all metabolic processes cease and the organism transforms into a nearly indestructible, desiccated speck. In this dormant form, rotifers can endure complete freezing, total dehydration, and even the vacuum of space. In cryptobiosis, the rotifer's cellular structures are stabilized by specialized molecules, preventing ice crystals from rupturing membranes and halting the cascade of decay that typically follows freezing. Complete freezing for tens of thousands of years, total dehydration, and even the vacuum and radiation of outer space, conditions that obliterate most known life. Laboratory experiments have confirmed that rotifers can survive exposure to cosmic radiation and the near-absolute zero temperatures of space. These microscopic survivors are the product of billions of years of evolutionary refinement. Their DNA encodes unique proteins and repair mechanisms that shield them from molecular damage, allowing them to repair their cells even after prolonged dormancy. The study of ancient Siberian rotifers is not merely an academic pursuit. It is a journey into the evolutionary arms race that has shaped life's persistence against unimaginable odds. The implications of this research are profound. By understanding how rotifers preserve their cellular integrity, scientists hope to revolutionize organ preservation, potentially extending viability from mere hours to weeks or even months, transforming medicine and transplantation. Rotifers deploy a suite of specialized molecules, such as trehalose, a sugar that stabilizes proteins and membranes, and unique antioxidants that neutralize harmful free radicals. These adaptations prevent cellular damage during freezing and thawing, preserving the organism's viability. Scientists are decoding these molecular defenses, seeking breakthroughs in anti-aging therapies that could slow cellular deterioration, and the possibility of human cryogenic hibernation, a concept that could one day enable interstellar journeys lasting decades or centuries. The lessons learned from rotifers may one day allow us to suspend human life for long-duration space travel. The saga of the Siberian rotifer compels us to reconsider the boundaries between life and death, and the evolutionary ingenuity that allows organisms to pause existence itself, awaiting the return of warmth and water. Alongside the bdelloid rotifer, the tardigrade, another microscopic marvel, demonstrates that life's tenacity is not an anomaly, but a recurring evolutionary strategy in Earth's harshest realms. Both species have independently evolved cryptobiotic abilities, highlighting convergent evolution in response to extreme environments. These organisms have even been sent to the International Space Station, where they survived cosmic radiation and microgravity. Their resilience offers tantalizing clues to the potential for life to exist and persist beyond our planet, perhaps on icy moons or distant exoplanets. By unraveling the genetic blueprints and biochemical strategies of these ancient survivors, we are not only expanding the frontiers of biology, but also glimpsing the future possibilities for life, on Earth and perhaps one day far beyond. The spark of life in Siberia's ancient world is not merely a relic of the past, but a beacon illuminating the enduring power and adaptability of life itself. Beneath the immense silent expanse of Siberia, a concealed world is gradually emerging from its icy shroud. The permafrost, locked in place for tens of thousands of years, is more than a frozen barrier. It is a portal to ancient environments, preserved in pristine isolation. As global temperatures rise, the permafrost fractures and recedes, unveiling a labyrinth of tunnels and chambers that have remained sealed since the Pleistocene. These corridors, untouched by sunlight for millennia, act as natural vaults, preserving the biological and geological history of a vanished epoch. Within these icy catacombs, entire subterranean ecosystems persist. Mosses and lichens frozen in time retain their cellular structure, while ancient plant matter forms a living archive of prehistoric flora. These preserved specimens offer a direct window into the ecosystems that once flourished across the Siberian steppe. In the darkness, microbial communities thrive, extremophiles that have adapted to the harshest conditions on Earth. Feeding on minerals and ancient organic matter, These resilient organisms illuminate the boundaries of life, surviving in sub-zero temperatures, high pressure, and total absence of light. Scientists employ advanced drilling techniques to extract cores of ancient ice and soil, ensuring samples remain uncontaminated. Under the microscope, these cores reveal a hidden diversity. Bacteria, archaea, and even multicellular organisms, some of which have lain dormant for tens of thousands of years. Occasionally, the permafrost yields astonishing discoveries: prehistoric plants, insects, and microscopic animals, their tissues and genetic material preserved in remarkable detail. Some nematodes, revived after millennia in stasis, demonstrate the extraordinary resilience of life in extreme environments. The remains of Ice Age giants, woolly mammoths, cave lions, and steppe bison emerge from the thawing ground, their tissues and DNA astonishingly intact. These relics allow scientists to reconstruct entire genomes, unlocking the evolutionary history of species that once dominated the Siberian tundra. By comparing ancient DNA with that of modern descendants, researchers map evolutionary lineages, tracing the rise and fall of species shaped by shifting climates and glacial cycles. Each genetic sequence is a chapter in the story of adaptation, survival, and extinction. Yet the revelation of these hidden realms comes with a stark warning. As the permafrost thaws, it releases ancient greenhouse gases, methane, and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, accelerating global warming and threatening the stability of these fragile environments. The urgency to explore and document these subterranean worlds has never been greater. Each year, more of this ancient archive is lost to the relentless advance of a warming climate, erasing irreplaceable records of Earth's biological and environmental history. In the silent depths beneath Siberia, the legacy of ancient life endures, a testament to the planet's capacity for both resilience and vulnerability. Here, the secrets of the past and the challenges of the future converge, reminding us of the profound mysteries still hidden within our world's most remote and fragile places. At the southernmost edge of our planet, Antarctica stands as a realm of extremes, its vast, frozen expanse untouched by time, its silence broken only by the shifting of ancient ice. Here, in this stark and inhospitable wilderness, the human imagination has conjured monsters that are as much psychological phenomena as they are products of folklore. The continent's relentless isolation, the perpetual twilight of its polar night, and the abyssal darkness beneath its surface have inspired a unique mythology, one that fuses scientific curiosity, cultural anxiety, and the primal urge to explain the inexplicable. The legend of organism. 46b, said to dwell in the shadowy depths of Lake Vostok, is a striking example of how mythic monsters emerge from the intersection of scientific discovery and human fear. Lake Vostok, a real subglacial lake sealed beneath over 2 miles of ice for millions of years, is a natural laboratory for extremophiles, microbes that thrive in conditions lethal to most life. Yet, in the public imagination, this hidden ecosystem becomes the lair of a monstrous cephalopod, endowed with intelligence, venom, and the power to disrupt technology. This narrative echoes ancient sea gods and Lovecraftian horrors, reflecting our unease with the unknown and our suspicion that nature may harbour secrets beyond our comprehension. The myth persists because it is anchored in scientific reality, the existence of a vast, unexplored world beneath the ice, where evolutionary processes may have taken a radically different path. Psychologically, such monsters serve as avatars for our deepest anxieties. Organism. 46b is not merely a creature of the deep. It is a symbol of the uncontrollable, the unseen, and the alien. In the context of Antarctica, where the environment itself is hostile and unpredictable, these legends become a way to externalize and confront the fear of what lies beneath the surface, both literally in the hidden lakes and caverns and metaphorically in the uncharted territories of the human mind. The monster's imagined abilities, its intelligence, its venom, its technological interference, mirror our anxieties about the limits of human knowledge and the potential consequences of scientific hubris. The striders, gigantic insectoid beings said to traverse the endless snowfields on impossibly long legs, represent a more modern form of myth-making. Unlike traditional monsters rooted in ancient folklore, the striders are born from the digital age, emerging in online forums and speculative fiction, where the boundaries between reality and imagination are fluid. Their presence in Antarctic lore is a testament to the psychological impact of the landscape itself. The sense of being watched in a place devoid of witnesses, the paranoia of isolation, and the existential dread of being dwarfed by forces beyond comprehension. The Striders' supposed connection to secret military projects adds a layer of geopolitical intrigue, transforming the ice into a stage for narratives of surveillance, control, and existential threat. The Ningen, perhaps the most visually haunting of Antarctic cryptids, is a product of Japanese maritime folklore and the global reach of internet myth-making. Described as a colossal, pale humanoid gliding through the frigid waters, the Ningen blurs the line between the familiar and the uncanny. Its ambiguous form, part iceberg, part living creature, invokes the psychological phenomenon of pareidolia, where the mind imposes meaning on ambiguous stimuli. The legend is sustained by blurry photographs and grainy videos, artifacts that invite endless interpretation and reinforce the allure of the unknown. In Japanese culture, the Ningen reflects both a reverence for the sea and a wariness of its secrets, embodying the tension between awe and fear that characterizes humanity's relationship with the natural world. Across cultures, the monsters of Antarctica reveal as much about the societies that imagine them as they do about the continent itself. In the West, tales of hidden octopuses and insectoid giants echo anxieties about scientific overreach and the limits of human control. In Japan, the Ningen is a symbol of the ocean's mystery and power. These legends transform Antarctica into a blank canvas, a place where the boundaries between myth and reality dissolve in the endless white. The psychological impact of these stories is profound. They provide a framework for confronting the unknown, for articulating fears that are otherwise inexpressible, and for finding meaning in a landscape that resists human understanding. Scientific discoveries occasionally lend credence to these legends, blurring the line between myth and reality. The identification of extremophiles in subglacial lakes demonstrates that life can persist in the most inhospitable environments, fueling speculation about what other forms might exist beneath the ice. The discovery of vast unexplored caverns and hidden lakes inspires dreams of lost worlds, echoing the hollow earth myths of earlier centuries. Yet, as research advances, the monsters of the mind are gradually supplanted by the wonders of reality. Ancient microbes that rewrite our understanding of life's resilience, colossal ice shelves that shape the planet's climate, and the slow, relentless movement of glaciers that sculpt the landscape over millennia. The enduring power of Antarctic monsters lies in their ability to embody the tension between knowledge and mystery. Even in an age of satellites and scientific exploration, there remain places on Earth that resist explanation, places where the imagination can still run wild. These legends are not mere curiosities. They are cultural artifacts, reflecting our need to confront the unknown and to find meaning in the world's most forbidding landscapes. They remind us that the human mind is both a creator of monsters and a seeker of understanding, forever drawn to the edge of the known. Ultimately, the true marvels of Antarctica are no less extraordinary than its myths. The continent's ancient giants, its glaciers, its hidden lakes, its resilient microbial life, invite awe and humility. In the interplay between folklore and fact, we glimpse the enduring power of the human mind to create monsters, and the equally profound capacity to seek understanding in the face of the unknown. Antarctica remains a place where science and myth converge, each illuminating the other, and where the psychological impact of the landscape continues to inspire wonder, fear, and the unending quest for knowledge. Beneath the endless expanse of Siberia's frozen ground, a genetic archive lies locked away, its secrets preserved by the relentless grip of permafrost for tens of thousands of years. Here, in this silent sub-zero world, ancient DNA is entombed within layers of ice and sediment, shielded from decay by the cold and the absence of light. The permafrost acts as a natural cryogenic vault, preserving genetic material from extinct megafauna, prehistoric plants, and long-lost microbial life. Unlocking these genetic treasures begins with the careful extraction of permafrost cores, using advanced robotic drills designed to prevent contamination and preserve the integrity of ancient samples. These machines bore deep into the earth, retrieving columns of frozen earth and ice that have remained undisturbed since the Pleistocene. Each core is a layered record of vanished worlds, containing remnants of Ice Age grasses, pollen, and even the preserved tissues of woolly mammoths and ancient bison. In ultra-clean, climate-controlled laboratories, these cores are stored and processed under strict protocols to prevent modern DNA from contaminating the ancient genetic material. Robotic arms and automated tools delicately isolate fragments of bone, plant, and sediment, minimizing human contact and maximizing sample purity. DNA extraction is performed in sealed environments, using specialized reagents and filtration systems to separate ancient genetic material from the surrounding matrix. Once isolated, the fragile DNA is amplified using polymerase chain reaction, a process that copies even the faintest genetic traces millions of times for analysis. Next-generation sequencing technologies decode these ancient genomes, while bioinformatic algorithms compare them to modern species, revealing evolutionary relationships and genetic adaptations. Through this molecular lens, scientists reconstruct lost ecosystems, mapping the flora and fauna that once thrived in Siberia's ancient grasslands and forests. The discoveries are astonishing. Intact mammoth muscle fibers, viable seeds from Ice Age plants, and even viruses that have lain dormant for millennia. Ancient DNA reveals a Siberia once teeming with life, forests where now there is tundra, and species that vanished as the climate warmed. These genetic records chronicle migration, extinction and adaptation, offering a window into the resilience and vulnerability of life. Occasionally, scientists encounter genetic sequences unlike any known today, evidence of extinct lineages and microbial life uniquely adapted to the harshest conditions. The work is meticulous, and the risks are significant. Ancient pathogens, if revived, could pose unforeseen threats, demanding rigorous containment and ethical oversight. Every finding is subjected to exhaustive verification, with genetic sequences cross-checked against global databases to rule out contamination and error. The margin between breakthrough and artifact is razor thin. Each strand of DNA must be authenticated with absolute precision. As Siberia's genetic vault is gradually unlocked, it reshapes our understanding of evolution, extinction, and the adaptability of life on Earth. The permafrost, once a symbol of eternal stillness, becomes a bridge to the distant past, a molecular record of climate, ecology, and the very fabric of life. In this frozen archive, the reality of ancient genetics surpasses legend, as the code of prehistoric life is read anew, illuminating the story of Earth's past and the challenges of its future. In these sterile, humming corridors of advanced data centers, far from the icy silence of Antarctica, an extraordinary process unfolds. Here, ancient DNA sequences, painstakingly extracted from permafrost and glacial ice, are meticulously digitized and reconstructed, their fragile codes preserved not in living tissue, but as streams of data. Supercomputers, capable of performing quadrillions of calculations per second, serve as the architects of these vanished worlds, their processors orchestrating a symphony of simulation and analysis. By integrating genetic blueprints, fossil records, and geological strata, these machines reconstruct the intricate tapestry of prehistoric ecosystems, layer by digital layer. Massive datasets, ranging from isotopic signatures to paleobotanical surveys, are fed into sophisticated ecological modeling software. Machine learning algorithms, trained on both ancient and extant genomes, analyze evolutionary relationships and infer missing genetic information with remarkable precision. These algorithms map out the complex web of interactions, predicting which species coexisted, how they competed or cooperated, and the subtle balances that sustained entire ecosystems. Population dynamics are simulated in real time, revealing how communities responded to gradual shifts and abrupt disruptions in climate. The result is a digital reconstruction of food webs, from the microbial decomposers that recycle nutrients to the invisible armies of bacteria and archaea that shape the chemistry of ancient soils. Towering forests of conifers and ferns and the colossal predators that once roamed beneath their canopies are rendered in breathtaking digital detail. High-resolution visualizations allow scientists to observe these ecosystems as dynamic, living systems, every organism, every interaction, every environmental shift. In the simulated polar seas, bioluminescent plankton drift in cold, dark waters, their glow illuminating the ancient marine food chain. Prehistoric crustaceans, modelled from fossilized exoskeletons and genetic fragments, scuttle through these virtual depths, their behaviours inferred from both modern analogues and ancient DNA. Above the waterline, digital forests stretch beneath the sky, veiled by volcanic ash, their plant communities reconstructed from pollen grains and chloroplast DNA. Each plant's genetic traits, drought resistance, growth patterns, reproductive cycles, are modelled from the recovered DNA, allowing for realistic simulation of their ecological roles. Every digital organism is programmed to move, feed, and reproduce, according to the behavioral and physiological cues encoded in its genome. Predator-prey relationships unfold in real time, with population booms and crashes echoing the rhythms of ancient seasons. These interactions are not static. They evolve as environmental conditions shift, mirroring the dynamic balance of real ecosystems. Plant life waxes and wanes with the simulated passage of time, responding to changes in temperature, precipitation, and atmospheric composition. The advance and retreat of ice sheets is modelled with geophysical accuracy, reshaping landscapes and driving evolutionary pressures. As glaciers carve valleys and expose new habitats, the digital ecosystem adapts, tracking the migration and extinction of species over millennia. These reconstructions are grounded in rigorous science, not artistic license. Every parameter, from the mineral content of ancient soils to the isotopic composition of groundwater, is derived from empirical measurements. Atmospheric models incorporate data from trapped gas bubbles in ice cores, reconstructing the precise mix of greenhouse gases that shaped prehistoric climates. Sediment cores, analyzed for pollen, spores, and chemical markers, provide a timeline of environmental change, anchoring the simulations in real-world evidence. The outcome is a living, breathing virtual ecosystem, an immersive, data-driven model that mirrors the complexity of life as it once was. Scientists can manipulate variables, altering temperature, introducing new species, or simulating catastrophic events, to observe the cascading effects across the ecosystem. These digital experiments allow for the testing of hypotheses that would be impossible to verify in the field or laboratory. For example, the extinction of a single keystone species can be traced through the food web, revealing vulnerabilities and resilience in the system. Sudden warming events, modelled with paleoclimate data, show how rapid environmental change can trigger mass extinctions or spark evolutionary innovation. The answers emerge not from speculation, but from the relentless interplay of data, code, and scientific rigor. Each simulation run refines our understanding, as models are validated against fossil evidence and adjusted for new discoveries. This digital resurrection is more than a technical marvel. It is a vital tool for understanding the resilience and fragility of life on Earth. The lessons encoded in ancient ice are now replayed in silicon, offering a blueprint for how life might respond to the environmental challenges of today and tomorrow. In the silent, ceaseless circuits of supercomputers, the story of Earth's lost worlds is told anew, each calculation a step closer to understanding our planet's deep past. These digital reconstructions bridge the gap between ancient extinction and modern survival, guiding conservation efforts and climate models alike. In this virtual resurrection, the ecosystems of ancient Antarctica are reborn, complex, dynamic, and astonishingly real. Their stories, encoded in data and brought to life by technology, illuminate the path forward as we navigate an uncertain future on a rapidly changing planet. Across the vast expanse of Siberia, a profound transformation is underway. As global temperatures climb, the permafrost, once a frozen fortress locking away the secrets of prehistory, begins to yield to the relentless advance of climate change. Millennia-old layers of Earth, undisturbed since the last ice age, are now succumbing to the warmth, exposing a landscape in flux. The tundra, once solid and unyielding, fractures and softens, revealing the scars of a rapidly changing world. This thawing frontier is more than a geological event. It is a signal of ecological upheaval. As the ice recedes, it unlocks a frozen archive, unveiling not only the bones of vanished giants, but entire ecosystems perfectly preserved in suspended animation. Each new melt season brings forth relics of a lost world, ancient plant matter, pollen, and the remains of colossal mammals, all emerging from their icy tombs. Mammoth tusks, woolly rhinoceroses, and the sinew and fur of long-extinct predators appear, their tissues astonishingly intact. The cold has preserved them in exquisite detail, offering a rare glimpse into the anatomy and biology of these prehistoric titans. The permafrost, once a perfect natural vault, is now a fragile and deteriorating barrier. As it weakens, its ancient contents seep into the present, blurring the boundary between past and future. For scientists, this is an unprecedented opportunity. The newly exposed remains allow for the extraction of ancient DNA, proteins, and even traces of prehistoric microbiomes, opening genetic chapters that have been sealed for tens of thousands of years. Advanced imaging and sequencing technologies reveal the genetic blueprints of these creatures, enabling researchers to reconstruct their evolutionary history and understand their adaptations to ancient climates. Chemical signatures locked within bones and teeth provide insights into ancient diets, migration patterns, and the environmental stresses that shaped their existence. Isotopic analysis reveals the composition of prehistoric vegetation and the cycles of glaciation and thaw that defined their world. Yet this scientific boon is shadowed by urgent challenges. As the permafrost collapses, delicate specimens are exposed to oxygen and microbial activity, risking rapid decomposition. The window for study is fleeting. Organic relics can deteriorate within days or weeks once thawed. Dormant bacteria, preserved in the frozen soil for millennia, awaken with the thaw. They begin to break down organic matter, releasing greenhouse gases and erasing invaluable scientific evidence before it can be recovered. The urgency intensifies with each passing summer. Prolonged daylight and rising temperatures accelerate the thaw, threatening to erase the record of ancient life before it can be catalogued or conserved. To keep pace, researchers deploy satellite imagery, thermal mapping, and drone surveys, pinpointing new exposures and monitoring the landscape's transformation in real time. Digital documentation, high-resolution scans, and 3D models preserves the details of fossils and remains, creating a virtual archive that endures even as the physical evidence vanishes. In the laboratory, cutting-edge genetic sequencing and ecological modelling reconstruct not only the forms but the behaviours, interactions and environments of Siberia's ancient giants. These reconstructions inform our understanding of extinction, adaptation and resilience in the face of environmental change. But the thaw is a double-edged sword, a stark reminder that the processes revealing the past are also reshaping the present and future. As ancient ice gives way, the landscape is transformed. Wetlands expand, ground subsides, and the delicate balance of the tundra ecosystem is disrupted, affecting everything from plant communities to migratory patterns of modern animals. Methane and carbon dioxide, trapped for eons beneath the ice, are released into the atmosphere. These potent greenhouse gases amplify global warming, creating a feedback loop that accelerates the thaw and intensifies climate change. The unearthing of Siberia's prehistoric life is both a scientific revelation and an ecological warning, a vivid intersection of discovery and loss, written in the melting ice and the bones beneath, as the ancient giants of Siberia emerge into a world forever changed. Beneath the endless twilight of prehistoric Siberia, a complex ecological equilibrium unfolded, a dynamic interplay of survival, adaptation and dominance orchestrated by the realm's most formidable predators. As the camera glides over windswept grasslands and dense boreal forests, shadows ripple across the snow, spectral forms of cave lions, dire wolves, and the elusive scimitar-toothed cats. These apex predators were not simply hunters. They were keystone species, exerting top-down control over the entire ecosystem. The cave lion, Panthera spelea, stood at the pinnacle of this hierarchy. With robust musculature, retractable claws, and a social structure reminiscent of modern lions, They coordinated hunts to target the largest herbivores, mammoths and steppe bison. Each predator's unique adaptations, powerful limbs for sprinting, acute night vision and insulating fur, enabled them to thrive in the harsh subarctic climate. Their movements carved trails through the snow, subtly altering the terrain and influencing the distribution of plant life. The relentless pursuit by cave lions kept herds in constant motion, preventing overgrazing in any one area. This pressure forced herbivores to migrate, shaping the very geography of the tundra and maintaining a mosaic of grassland and woodland. Over generations, these migrations transformed dense woodlands into open grasslands, as grazing and trampling suppressed tree saplings and promoted the spread of hardy grasses and sedges. Dire wolves, Canis dirus, operated in tightly knit packs. Their cooperative strategies and endurance allowed them to pursue prey over vast distances, selectively targeting the weak, sick or old. This natural selection ensured the health and genetic vigour of herbivore populations. The remains left behind by these predators became epicentres of biodiversity. Scavengers, ranging from wolverines to Arctic foxes, fed on the carcasses, while insects and microbes accelerated decomposition, recycling nutrients back into the soil and supporting plant growth. The scimitar-toothed cat, Homotherium latidens, was a solitary ambush predator. Its elongated, serrated canines and powerful forelimbs were perfectly adapted for quick, lethal strikes in the river valleys and icy marshes. By preying on wild horses and elk, the scimitar-toothed cat regulated their numbers, preventing overbrowsing and allowing young trees and shrubs to establish, thus promoting ecological succession and habitat diversity. Lesser predators and scavengers, such as wolverines, Arctic foxes and giant mustelids, played crucial roles in nutrient cycling. By consuming remains and dispersing seeds through their scat, they contributed to plant regeneration and soil fertility. The predator-prey dynamic was a living engine of evolution. Each encounter drove adaptations, speed, camouflage, defensive herding, fueling an ongoing evolutionary arms race that shaped the anatomy and behaviour of both hunter and hunted. Over millennia, the landscape itself responded to these pressures. Forests retreated under the combined impact of grazing and predation, while grasslands expanded, creating a patchwork of habitats that supported a remarkable diversity of life. Every adaptation, saber teeth, retractable claws, thick pelts, left a signature on the land. Tracks pressed into the frozen earth, claw marks on ancient trees, and bones scattered across the tundra all bear silent witness to this intricate web of life. As dawn breaks over a frosty clearing, the camera lingers on a tapestry of intersecting tracks, evidence of nightly hunts, migrations, and the perpetual struggle for survival. The silence of the tundra is not emptiness, but the echo of countless lives intertwined. Each species, from the mightiest predator to the smallest scavenger, playing a vital role in maintaining ecological balance. Here, in the shadow of giants, the predators of ancient Siberia shaped not only the fate of their prey, but the destiny of the land itself, a legacy inscribed in bones, soil, and the ever-changing tundra, where the story of life and death continues to echo through the ages. Across continents and oceans, a silent network pulses, an intricate web of scientific infrastructure, data streams, and advanced technology, all converging in the pursuit of Siberia's ancient giants. Fibre optic cables hum beneath the seas, transmitting terabytes of information between research hubs in real time, forging a digital bridge that unites the world's brightest minds. High above, satellites equipped with multispectral sensors and ground-penetrating radar sweep the Siberian tundra, detecting subtle thermal anomalies and mapping the shifting permafrost. These orbital sentinels relay their findings to data centers across Europe, Asia and North America, where teams analyze the signals for signs of preserved remains. In climate-controlled laboratories, geneticists, paleontologists and climatologists collaborate virtually, decoding fragments of bone, tusk and ancient DNA. Each specimen is catalogued, scanned and sequenced using high-throughput robotics, ensuring that even the most fragile remains are preserved for future study. The camera glides over a digital world map where blinking data points represent active research nodes, each one a centre of innovation, from Arctic research stations to metropolitan supercomputing facilities. Specimens, sealed in temperature-controlled containers, embark on meticulously planned journeys. Specialized logistics teams coordinate air and sea transport, navigating customs protocols and international biosecurity regulations to ensure the safe passage of irreplaceable fossils and permafrost cores. In sterile vaults, robotic arms equipped with precision sensors extract microsamples from tusks and bones, minimizing contamination. Automated extraction lines process ancient tissues, while supercomputers reconstruct genomes, simulating evolutionary pathways nucleotide by nucleotide. In Japan, advanced imaging arrays scan mammoth molars at nanometer resolution, revealing microscopic wear patterns that hint at ancient diets and migration routes. German isotope laboratories analyze chemical signatures locked within fossilized teeth, charting the seasonal movements of extinct herds across prehistoric landscapes. A symphony of expertise unfolds as automated microscopes scan samples, feeding data into global repositories for instant peer review and cross-validation. French sedimentologists meticulously analyze ancient pollen grains trapped in ice cores, reconstructing the vanished ecosystems that once supported Siberia's megafauna. In the Canadian Arctic, engineers test deep drilling rigs designed to penetrate 2 kilometers of frozen ground, retrieving pristine samples untouched for tens of thousands of years. Meanwhile, cloud-based repositories synchronize terabytes of genomic, isotopic and environmental data. Researchers in Brazil, South Africa and Australia access these databases, contributing regional expertise in climate modelling, evolutionary biology and ancient ecosystems, each insight a vital piece of the global puzzle. Animated diagrams illustrate breakthroughs. The uncoiling of a mammoth's genome, the 3D modelling of a cave lion's skull, and the simulation of predator-prey dynamics across millennia, all rendered with scientific precision. Animated overlays depict scientific debate. Hypotheses cross, diverge and converge as new data refines the collective understanding. Peer-reviewed publications and open-access datasets foster a culture of transparency and rigorous scrutiny. In this vast, coordinated effort, competition yields to curiosity. Automated systems facilitate collaboration, allowing discoveries to be shared instantly and securely. Language barriers dissolve through real-time translation software, and digital collaboration platforms enable seamless communication across time zones and cultures. The quest for Siberia's ancient titans is now a planetary alliance, an interconnected network of laboratories, data centers and field stations, each contributing unique expertise to a shared mission. As the scene closes, the camera pans across interconnected research centres, glowing screens and ancient bones illuminated under analytical light. Each artifact a testament to global cooperation. The legacy of Siberia's monsters is now a global endeavour, an ongoing story written not just in the frozen earth, but in the synchronized efforts, cultural exchanges and scientific breakthroughs of a world united to resurrect the lost chapters of our planet's history. The next frontier in the search for Siberia's ancient giants is unfolding at the intersection of cutting-edge science and relentless curiosity. As the Arctic winds sweep across the tundra, the landscape itself becomes a living laboratory, its secrets locked beneath layers of permafrost, waiting for the tools of tomorrow to reveal them. The digital infrastructure connecting research teams worldwide is evolving into a seamless real-time network. High-bandwidth satellite links and quantum-encrypted data streams allow scientists in remote Siberian outposts to collaborate instantly with experts in genomics, paleoclimatology, and robotics from every continent. Autonomous drones, equipped with adaptive AI navigation, now traverse the tundra in coordinated swarms. Each drone is outfitted with multispectral cameras, LiDAR and atmospheric sensors, mapping the terrain in exquisite detail and identifying subtle anomalies invisible to the naked eye. Advanced thermal imaging and ground-penetrating radar systems penetrate meters below the surface, generating three-dimensional models of ice layers, ancient riverbeds and fossilized remains. These data streams are instantly uploaded to cloud-based supercomputers for analysis. Virtual excavation grids are projected onto the landscape, guiding robotic teams to precise locations where the probability of significant finds is highest. Algorithms continuously refine these grids as new data arrives, optimizing every expedition. Pinpointed fossil-rich sites are flagged for immediate investigation, with digital overlays highlighting not only the location, but also the estimated depth, age, and preservation state of potential specimens. Artificial intelligence systems synthesize geological, climatic, and biological data, illuminating hidden regions where ancient life may be entombed. These AI models learn from every discovery, becoming ever more adept at predicting the locations of new finds. In subterranean research facilities, advanced robotic excavators operate in controlled microclimates. These machines are engineered for precision, using haptic feedback and real-time imaging to delicately extract fossils without damaging their fragile structures. Guided by machine learning algorithms, robotic arms adjust their movements to the unique density and brittleness of each specimen, ensuring minimal disturbance to the surrounding matrix and maximizing the preservation of contextual data. Specialized tools, cooled to sub-zero temperatures, prevent thawing and preserve the microstructure of icebound fossils, allowing for unprecedented analysis of ancient tissues and biomolecules. Micromanipulators, operating at the cellular level, extract DNA, proteins, and even preserve microbiomes from ancient remains. Each sample is catalogued with nanometer precision, its provenance and context digitally recorded for future study. Cryogenic vaults, maintained at temperatures colder than liquid nitrogen, store these genetic treasures. Automated inventory systems track every filament of DNA, ensuring samples remain uncontaminated and accessible for decades to come. Supercomputers, leveraging quantum processors and neural network architectures, analyze terabytes of genetic, isotopic, and sedimentary data. These machines reconstruct evolutionary lineages, population dynamics, and migration patterns with astonishing accuracy. Entire Pleistocene ecosystems are simulated in virtual reality, down to the cellular and ecological interactions. These models incorporate real-time climate data, ancient DNA, and isotopic signatures to recreate the rhythms of vanished worlds. Digital landscapes teem with mammoths, cave lions, and woolly rhinos, their behaviors and interactions reconstructed from genetic blueprints and fossilized evidence. Each movement, each interaction is informed by a synthesis of genetic, isotopic, and sedimentary data, allowing researchers to test hypotheses about social structure, diet, and adaptation. Immersive digital environments enable scientists to explore ancient habitats, observe simulated population dynamics, and even model the impact of catastrophic events such as volcanic eruptions or sudden climate shifts. Climate models, integrated with Botanical and ice core data, forecast how these ecosystems responded to abrupt warming and cooling events, offering insights into extinction and survival. By comparing ancient and modern climate data, researchers identify patterns and tipping points, informing strategies for biodiversity conservation in a rapidly changing world. Advances in gene editing, including CRISPR and synthetic biology, open new avenues for exploring the genetic basis of adaptation and resilience. Scientists can now reconstruct extinct gene variants and study their function in living cells. Virtual gene libraries expand, with digital strands recombining to model the genomes of extinct predators and herbivores, revealing the molecular secrets of their survival. Yet, as the boundaries of de-extinction are tested, ethical frameworks evolve in parallel. Digital warning systems and oversight algorithms ensure that every experiment is guided by rigorous ethical standards and global consensus. The focus remains steadfastly scientific. Each discovery is a step toward understanding the processes that shaped life in the deep past, not a spectacle for its own sake. Fossils are meticulously catalogued, their microstructures analyzed for clues about growth rates, disease, and environmental stresses. Genome sequencing reveals the genetic adaptations that enabled survival in extreme cold, resistance to pathogens, and the evolution of unique traits. Animated timelines trace extinction events, highlighting the genetic and ecological factors that determined which lineages endured and which vanished forever. Global neural networks synthesize data from satellites, sensors, and laboratories, creating a living map of ongoing discoveries and emerging research priorities. Predictive heat maps highlight regions with the highest probability of new fossil discoveries, guiding future expeditions with scientific precision. Data streams ripple across continents, connecting research hubs and enabling real-time collaboration on a planetary scale. Glowing hotspots and unexplored regions emerge on digital maps, signaling the next frontiers for exploration and discovery. The digital archive expands, its interface evolving to accommodate new forms of data. 3D fossil scans, genomic sequences, and environmental reconstructions accessible to researchers worldwide. Endless rows of data storage grow, forming a living library of scientific knowledge that will serve generations yet unborn. High-tech laboratories, equipped with the latest analytical instruments, become hubs for interdisciplinary research, where paleogenomics, climate science, and robotics converge. Virtual collaboration workspaces allow teams to share findings, run joint simulations, and develop new hypotheses in real time, regardless of physical location. The legacy of Siberia's ancient monsters is not static. It evolves with every discovery, every technological advance, and every new question posed by the next generation of scientists. Deep within the ice, mysteries remain, enigmatic signals, unexplored crevasses, and the tantalizing possibility of life forms yet unknown to science. The story of ancient monsters is now written in both bone and code, each discovery a new chapter in the epic of life on Earth. It is driven by the boundless curiosity of those who seek to understand a world long vanished, yet whose echoes still shape our present and future. As the sun rises over the frozen wilderness, the enduring legacy of Siberia's ancient giants continues, etched in ice, encoded in data, and alive in the imagination of all who dare to explore the unknown. Beneath the colossal bones and fossilized teeth of Siberia's ancient giants lies a hidden archive even more elusive, the microscopic world entombed within the permafrost. Here, in frozen layers dating back tens of thousands of years, microbial life endures in a state of suspended animation. Each ice core extracted from the tundra is not just a geological sample, but a time capsule of ancient ecosystems, preserving bacteria, archaea, viruses, and even primitive eukaryotes in near-perfect stasis. Within ultra-clean laboratories, robotic microtomes carve wafer-thin slices from these ice cores. Under high-magnification imaging, networks of microbial colonies, some genetically distinct from any known modern relatives, are revealed. Automated genomic sequencers, equipped with nanopore technology, unravel the genetic blueprints of these ancient microbes in real time, base by base. Data streams illuminate the evolutionary divergence of cold, adapted lineages, exposing gene clusters that enabled survival through ice ages and sudden freezes. Electron microscopes scan the preserved microfauna rotifers, tardigrades and protozoa, their cellular structures intact and undisturbed by the passing millennia. Advanced spectroscopic analysis detects ancient viral particles, some carrying genetic signatures of megafaunal pathogens, others representing long-extinct viral families. AI-driven pattern recognition algorithms cross-reference these genomes against global databases, mapping the spread and evolution of ancient diseases, symbioses, and ecological networks. As digital reconstructions animate, viewers witness the invisible drama unfolding in a single drop of thawed permafrost, predatory amoeba hunting bacteria, viral infections sweeping through microbial communities, and resilient spores lying dormant, awaiting the warmth of a new epoch. Chemical fingerprinting reveals traces of ancient metabolic processes, methane production, sulfur cycling, and nitrogen fixation, each process echoing the dynamics of prehistoric environments. The data, gathered from these microscopic time capsules, informs climate models, revealing how microbial activity once influenced atmospheric composition and biogeochemical cycles. Scientists digitally simulate the potential reawakening of ancient microbes as permafrost thaws, forecasting both ecological risks and the possibility of discovering novel biomolecules with medical or industrial applications. The story of Siberia's lost worlds thus extends to the smallest scale, where ancient life, invisible to the naked eye, persists in the frozen dark. Each microbe catalogued, each genome sequenced, adds a new dimension to our understanding of evolution, extinction, and resilience. The silent archives of ice, once overlooked, now emerge as a frontier of discovery, reminding us that even in the coldest corners of the earth, life endures, adapts, and holds secrets yet untold. Beneath the silent tundra, a different kind of legacy is awakening. Ancient viruses and bacteria preserved in the cryogenic embrace of permafrost, now exposed by the relentless thaw. As the permafrost recedes, these microscopic entities, some dormant for tens of millennia, re-enter the biosphere. In cutting-edge containment labs, scientists meticulously isolate viral particles from ice samples, their genetic codes revealing lost lineages that once swept through Pleistocene megafauna. Sequencing data illuminates the structure of these ancient pathogens, giant viruses with genomes far larger than any known today, bacteriophages adapted to the cold, and bacterial strains carrying resistance genes from a forgotten microbial arms race. Visuals synchronize with the narration. Electron microscopes reveal the intricate architecture of a 30,000-year-old pithovirus, its capsid still pristine. Animation overlays trace the infection pathways as the virus invades modern amoeba, reviving its ancient replication cycle. In parallel, spectroscopic imaging uncovers bacterial spores nestled within ice crystals, their metabolic machinery flickering back to life when exposed to warmth and nutrients. Advanced bioinformatics platforms compare these resurrected genomes with present-day relatives, mapping evolutionary leaps and the emergence of virulence factors. Some of these pathogens bear genetic hallmarks linked to ancient outbreaks, molecular fingerprints that hint at their roles in past extinction events or population crashes. Others harbour enzymes and metabolic pathways long vanished from modern ecosystems, offering clues to prehistoric biochemistry and the resilience of life in extreme conditions. Throughout, the narration underscores the dual-edged nature of these discoveries. On one side, the revival of ancient microbes opens windows into Earth's deep past, illuminating the interplay between pathogens, hosts, and climate. On the other, it raises pressing questions about biosecurity, as the release of dormant pathogens could disrupt contemporary ecosystems or pose unforeseen risks to wildlife and potentially humanity. The scene closes with a digital simulation. As global temperatures rise, permafrost melt accelerates and a cascade of microbial awakening unfolds across the Arctic. Each ancient virus and bacterium catalogued is not only a scientific marvel, but a reminder of the interconnectedness and vulnerability of life on a changing planet. The permafrost, once a frozen tomb, emerges as both a treasure trove and a Pandora's box, challenging science to balance discovery with vigilance. Amid the thawing expanse of Siberia, the awakening is not limited to ancient beasts and invisible microbes. Locked within the permafrost lie seeds, spores, and fragments of plant life, botanical relics from a world transformed by time and climate. As the ice retreats, these remnants of prehistoric flora begin to reveal their secrets, offering a rare glimpse into vanished ecosystems that once flourished across the mammoth steppe. The camera pans over a windswept tundra, sparse and stunted, before dissolving into high-resolution scans of soil cores extracted from the permafrost. Within these frozen layers, paleobotanists recover perfectly preserved seeds of silene, artemisia, and ancient grasses, some dating back over 30,000 years. Time-lapse visuals showcase modern laboratory attempts at germination. Petri dishes under controlled light and temperature, where a Pleistocene seed cracks open, sending a tentative shoot skyward for the first time in millennia. Microscopic close-ups reveal the intricate structure of pollen grains, their outer shells etched with patterns unique to extinct species. Animations reconstruct ancient forests and grasslands, overlaying current tundra landscapes with waves of larch, birch and wild rye, painting a vibrant tapestry that once supported herds of grazing megafauna. As the permafrost gives up its botanical treasures, Scientists analyze the preserved plant DNA, comparing it to modern relatives. Genetic sequencing uncovers traits for cold resistance, drought tolerance, and rapid seasonal growth, adaptations forged in an era of climatic extremes. These findings unlock clues to the resilience and diversity of prehistoric ecosystems and provide templates for breeding crops suited to a warming world. The narrative weaves through the ecological consequences of this botanical resurrection. In some thawed river valleys, ancient seeds already take root, subtly altering the local plant community. Drone footage tracks the slow encroachment of resurrected flora as root systems stabilize soil and change water flows, inviting insects and small mammals to recolonize these microhabitats. Yet the emergence of ancient plants also brings uncertainty, potentially outcompeting modern species, shifting nutrient cycles, and interacting with newly revived microbes in unpredictable ways. The scene closes with a sweeping aerial view, patches of green, gold and silver spreading across the Siberian permafrost, ghost forests returning to a land that has not known them for ages. In this unfolding experiment, the ancient flora of Siberia acts as both a living archive and an active agent, reshaping the ecosystem even as it teaches us about survival, adaptation, and the intricate dance of life across deep time. Across the vast frozen expanse of the Siberian permafrost, a silent revolution unfolds, not in the form of roaring excavation machinery, but through the precision and power of modern technology. The camera glides above remote research outposts, their solar panels glinting against the white wilderness before descending into a laboratory illuminated by the soft glow of digital screens and instrumentation. Cut to robotic drilling rigs, compact yet robust, engineered to delicately extract deep cores of ancient ice and sediment with minimal disturbance. Each core, a vertical timeline, is swiftly transferred into climate-controlled containment units, preserving its molecular secrets for analysis. High-speed time-lapse footage follows these samples as they move seamlessly from field to lab, tracked by RFID tags and monitored via satellite-linked databases. Inside the laboratory, next-generation sequencing machines hum quietly, decoding the genetic blueprints of seeds, spores, and even traces of ancient plant tissues. Automated liquid handlers pipette nanoliter volumes with unerring accuracy, preparing DNA for analysis without risk of contamination. Artificial intelligence algorithms parse the genetic data, cross-referencing millions of sequences to reconstruct lost lineages and pinpoint evolutionary adaptations. On computer monitors, 3D reconstructions of ancient plants emerge, generated from a fusion of micro-CT scanning and spectral imaging. These digital models reveal cellular structures and biochemical signatures invisible to the naked eye, allowing paleobotanists to distinguish between species separated by tens of millennia. Simultaneously, environmental sensors deployed across the tundra transmit real-time data on temperature, soil chemistry, and microbial activity, feeding into predictive models that map the potential spread of revived flora. Drones equipped with multispectral cameras sweep low over thawing river valleys, detecting subtle shifts in vegetation and soil moisture. Their imagery is stitched together by powerful software, producing high-resolution maps that guide ongoing research and conservation efforts. Virtual reality simulations, built from this wealth of data, immerse scientists in resurrected landscapes, forests and grasslands as they appeared before the last glacial retreat. The narrative threads through each innovation, highlighting their interdependence, robotics enabling pristine sampling, Genomics illuminating deep evolutionary history. AI accelerating discovery. Remote sensing and VR bridging field and laboratory. Together, these technologies form an unprecedented toolkit, transforming the permafrost from an impenetrable barrier into a living archive, accessible in exquisite scientific detail. As the scene closes, the camera zooms out to reveal a digital network overlaying the Arctic. Nodes of discovery, pulsing with data, connecting laboratories, satellites and field stations across continents. In this age of technological ingenuity, the secrets of the ancient world are no longer beyond reach, their stories unlocked by the relentless advance of human innovation. As digital maps and genetic blueprints illuminate the secrets of ancient worlds, a new frontier emerges, not of science, but of conscience. The camera glides over an array of containment chambers, their reinforced glass shimmering beneath clinical lights, hinting at the dormant seeds and spores within. Animated infographics fade in, illustrating the meticulous biosecurity protocols that cocoon each specimen, multi-layered airlocks, sterile transfer systems and real-time genetic monitoring, all calibrated to prevent accidental release. A slow pan across a glowing monitor displays a virtual decision tree, branching into complex scenarios, each node representing a possible outcome of reviving ancient organisms. On screen, simulations unfurl. One shows a resurrected plant species thriving in a controlled biome, its roots weaving through sterile soil. Another reveals a pathogen's genetic sequence, flagged in red as algorithms assess its compatibility and threat to contemporary ecosystems. The narrative shifts to a digital timeline, highlighting pivotal moments in scientific history, where past introductions of non-native species led to unintended ecological upheaval. Animated overlays depict ancient microbes and flora interacting with modern counterparts, with risk assessments visualized as shifting heat maps. Data streams pulse across the scene, quantifying the probabilities of gene transfer, invasive spread, or unforeseen ecological cascades. A virtual courtroom emerges, its benches occupied not by people, but by animated icons representing global regulatory bodies, AI ethicists, and environmental models. Lines of code and legal statutes interlace, underscoring the labyrinthine frameworks guiding every decision. The camera lingers on a holographic globe, pinpointing regions where permafrost research intersects with indigenous lands. Icons of cultural heritage and biodiversity blink softly, signaling the necessity of respect, consultation, and consensus. As the scene crescendos, a digital scale appears, one side weighted by the promise of groundbreaking knowledge and potential medical breakthroughs, the other by the spectre of irreversible change. The balance trembles, underscoring the uncertainty and gravity of every choice. In the closing moments, the camera pans out to a vast, data-driven landscape. Containment domes, risk matrices, and encrypted communication lines overlay the permafrost. The narration lingers on a single unresolved question, echoed in scrolling text across the screen. Just because we can revive the ancient world, should we? In this silent calculus, the future of ancient life, and our own, hangs delicately in the balance.